We got another Star Wars show to talk about that came out
Oh,
in 2024.
oh right. Hey, at least it's yeah, pretty much. It's the one by John Watts. Is it good? Who knows?
Yeah, it's after coming off of the same year where we had the Acolyte, and you remember the Acolyte, right?
Yeah, that nothing of a show. That got canceled, thankfully.
Crazily, with how much it really relied on setting up a second season. Maybe you don't do that kind of stuff.
Hey, they are so sure it will get a second season. They must be so proud of their shitty writing.
Oh man, yeah, it's the kind of thing. It's like because like Velma got season 1 and 2, but that's because Velma was confirmed to have 2 seasons from the start, so they were able to. That was already guaranteed for them. So even if season 1 was shit, it didn't really matter. But I guess the Acolytes didn't have that luxury. I guess
Yeah.
maybe
Uh,
live action shows are different from animated shows, though. It could be that.
maybe. I have no idea. I
But
mean,
yeah,
you. I mean,
uh,
usually in previous shows that you got renewed during the show, so you know that you cancel the show or not. So how to end the show? Now you just don't even know.
yeah. It's also the flaw of like mystery boxes, especially if you don't have the luxury of being able to answer those mystery boxes down the line.
Hmm.
Or unless you're J.J. Abrams, you keep making mystery boxes and then it's your last movie and you still don't answer questions, even though that's
Yeah,
the last movie of your trilogy.
pretty much. So, uh, that's what it is. But oh well, it's gonna be a really. I mean, I mean, this show has a conclusion. Unlike the acolytes, I mean, thank fuck, no one even talks about it anymore.
Yeah. So so this is a little bit different, obviously. Skeleton Crew is created by John Watts and Christopher Ford. It's set like like 5 years after Return of the Jedi stuff, but it doesn't really have any kind of connections to things that we've seen in Star Wars, like outside of that, which honestly I am okay with. It's kind
Mm,
of like
mm.
that aspect with like Mando, for example, like what people were hoping Mando would be like finally something outside of the Skywalker saga of that sort, and then they go into heavily relying on that shit.
Yeah, I mean, if
Um,
you,
mhm.
it's not like there's a problem with that. It's just they done it poorly, really
That
poorly.
too.
Uh,
Uh,
I got. So I'm not gonna respond to that.
yeah, me neither. So yeah, it stars Jude Law as Captain Hook. I mean, Captain John Norwood. Honestly, it's funny because like I guess they had him for Captain Hook for Peter Pan and Wendy, and then
All right.
let's put him in this one, and thankfully he's a lot better here. Um, and then it also stars 4 kids. Uh, Ravi Kabat Conyers as Wim, Ryan Kara Armstrong as Fern, uh, Kriana Crater as KB, and Robert Timothy Smith as Neil, I I don't remember what the alien species is called, but he basically has like the nose, like the elephant nose kind of a thing.
I mean, I don't know.
Uh,
Just elephant species.
yeah,
That's what we call animals.
yeah. So, I mean, this was always like pitched as like kind of like a Goonies style, uh, the Goonies, Stand by Me sort of type of show where you got four children end up in a space adventure, and they need to try to make their way home after being lost in the galaxy. And they follow some twists and turns to the bad side of the galaxy, while befriending somebody who is a Force user. Is he a Jedi, or is he not? That's the mystery. So yeah, it's like it seemed like a simple premise, nothing too complicated, and I mean, like we talked about it earlier. I think we expressed some interest in the show, in terms of the premise and how it was presenting itself and all that stuff. Max Rebo. So let's see. So I guess like what was it for you? The show in a non-spoiler way.
It's the second best Star Wars show. Does that mean anything to you?
So the reason why I titled it this way, in particular for the title, it does play it safe, pretty safe in general, but I was okay with that, because I don't think it needed to go crazy or do something like ridiculous or do all these kinds of connections and stuff like that. I enjoyed it for what it was, and I mean, I don't really see like it going for a season two, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. Will they make a season two? Probably not. It didn't really get that much eyes on it. I think because like they didn't put the embargo for the show until after the episodes dropped. I think they just wanted to avoid like the acolyte kind of discussion. But then it's like there's no marketing as well, so I just don't think they really shared the show that off like that much, especially when it's. I mean, it's like it's nowhere near where the acolyte was. In that level.
When it comes to promoting, there's nothing about it. I mean, there's no like mid-season trailer or some shit. So no. Well. Yeah. I mean, the cast is not even. Yeah, they should really have a cast just talk about a bunch of shit.
Yeah, honestly, I'm starting to get old, man, because like, because we're having like a Goonies style, kind of like project, and now I'm like so much older than like the kids that are on the screen for most of the runtime and all that stuff. So obviously, it's going to be different. I can imagine what that was like in the 80s and 90s and all that stuff.
I mean, I know, and I never even seen the Goonies, so it's like that means nothing to me. So just that's I'm gonna be blunt. I never even heard of the Goonies until they announced Skeleton Crew. That's how much I don't know about it.
That's not true. You've heard like some references because of Stranger Things.
Wait, that they reference Goonie in Stranger Things
all the time. I mean,
what? Like, that's what it means.
Well, it's like having like a kid group of like going up against the odds and stuff like that. That's relatively a Goonies trope. It's not like a Goonies trope, but like it's definitely popular. You know what I mean? Made it popular. So Stranger Things having like a kids cast going through all these things. That's partly where the premise comes from. For that show, along with a lot of other 80s references.
How old am I when I first watched Stranger Things? I was like, I don't even know the Goonies reference, dude. I don't even know a lot of references.
Yeah. You remember when like Gustin and Steve were like walking on the train tracks?
Which episode was that?
I think it was in season 2 or season 3.
Oh shit. Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's just like directly from the Goonies. There's a lot of other references. I mean, I'm sure you know that there's like a lot of other stuff like the Terminator and
like that. I mean, yeah. To be fair, I've seen the Terminator, so I can get that reference.
Yeah. But yeah, so I I don't want to go too heavy with the show in general because like I think like it wasn't like I would recommend it for anybody who hasn't seen the show. Um, it's not like other Star Wars shows, which is kind of like I know that's kind of a cringe thing to say. Um, but at the same time, it's like I feel like with Star Wars in general, it's like I have a hard time like understanding the. I've said it before, and I don't know if it's like a great thing to say. It's like sometimes I don't really know what people want out of Star Wars, and I know
Yeah,
this isn't the atypical kind of thing that people expect out of Star Wars. So I'm not saying have this be the bar or have this be I even with Andor, I would not say don't make Andor the bar for Star Wars. I think that's a stupid idea. I don't know if you can agree with that.
I mean, what does that mean?
So I mean, like, not every show should be Andor in Star Wars
I mean, in terms of quality or writing or just style.
style.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you can watch anything, but in terms of quality, fuck that. You have to be that, or else,
I,
yeah,
but like, I guess like quality is like one thing, but like tone is like another thing too. Like, not every tone can like fit what Andor was doing. Andor was meant to be more serious, more like a political thriller kind of a style, kind of a thing that just doesn't fit with every aspect of every facet of Star Wars like that you can go with. Like, I mean, you could do it with Jedi, I guess, but like there are other aspects of Star Wars that just can't do that. You just need to either have some whimsy into it or some fantastical elements or like some kind of like it doesn't fit every style that you could do with Star Wars. That I don't feel like you should box yourself down that way, if that makes sense.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. You can have have a plan about hentai characters just fucking every day. That and can take place in Star Wars.
Yeah. Uh, so I mean, like this. Speaking of like planets, like being in charge of different things and all that stuff. Um, so this group of kids, they're from the planet called At-Aten, and apparently this planet, it seems really boring to the kids on there. Um, but and then like one day they escape because they find a spaceship buried under the ground in their planet, which
Yeah.
it's weird how it was buried under the ground because like it was like lodged deep into the hillside.
No, I mean
Um,
the explanation is it just shit. Basically, it's the pirate stole the ship, so he used this to access the place, and then it got destroyed.
no, so like basically the pirate who had the ship, like he stole it from somebody. So Ad-Aten has like a barrier shield around it so that nobody could find it, not even on the star maps, kind of a thing. So like a lot of people have heard of the legends of Ad-Aten, but they've never actually known like what it was or like if that was a real planet or anything like that. Um, that was like kind of like it's like a myth essentially. The planet itself is special because it's like a banking planet, like it makes the credits and for the old republic and stuff like that. So they do rely like people rely on them for like making the money kind of a stuff, but to the kids like they just find it kind of like it's whatever planet, like pretty boring. They live in a society that relies on droids, um, things like that.
Yeah,
Like security droids, and then their leader, the supervisor, is like pretty much a droid himself. Um, but but like their parents are like saying, but you just gotta do a part of it. Like make sure you do well, do good in school. Which that's not a Star Wars thing. That's just in life. Do well, do good in school, get a good job, have a good
no,
life, stuff.
basically every kid just like fuck you, parents. I want you to die. That's every kid's reaction.
But I want to get out of here, I guess. But yeah, they so when the kids find this ship. So what I meant to say what was weird is like the ship is like lodged like deep into the earth, like they find a hatch on the side of the hill, then they dig, 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 and then were able to open the door. And then like once they power the ship on by it wasn't really by accident because Wim he just like was really upset that like Fern was like taking all the credit, being sort of like a leader when he's the one who found the ship in the first place, and like he, you know, wants to prove some sort of competence, friendly competition style kind of a thing, and so he ends up pressing the green button that starts the ship. It's good that the ship can start is one thing, but then like it also like has to like break through the earth to get out of the dirt in order to fly out. So that's kind of that was like the only thing is like it's weird how the ship was like lodged in the earth and then how it gets itself out of there. That was one thing for me in the first episode.
No, I mean they don't they can't explain it, but they didn't explain it well enough. It's just like, oh, I mean, yeah, I guess it explains that why there's a power ship, but that doesn't mean that. But you did not explain how they lodge into the ground, and no one, it should. I think it's
That's what I
crashed,
mean.
and no one gave a shit in at Aden.
But the thing is like the thing is like it was so well hidden in the earth that like nobody could find it, or like it was not noticeable. Wim only noticed it because because like when he fell down the hill trying to get to school for his exam, he hits something and it sounds like metal. So then he like rubs on the dirt, and then it shows that it shows like an insignia on it. So he thinks it's a Jedi temple, like his picture books, which that's not true, but like that's his imagination. But yeah, that was really my only thing for episode 1 in particular. I guess like if we just describe the kids, Wim, he's essentially your kid who wants to be on an adventure kind of a style.
Yeah,
He
he's like really afraid though, but he's like weak. But he also like, really naive, and he also like, but he also got bullied around, so it's kind of that. And then over the course of the show, he learns to be brave, stand up against other people, take charge and stuff. The stuff that you've seen a lot of times.
Yeah, and then over the course of the show, like you kind of see him. I mean, obviously, he doesn't become like a leader kind of a thing, but he does do things that like kind of boost his confidence. Like especially with KB when she was like powering down due to her. So KB is like a robot, like half robot, half human.
Yeah, basically she got she got an accident. Never explained what accident. So they have to replace her body with like cybernetic parts.
So it's not. To be fair, Fern says that this has happened before. So basically, like her filament was just short circuiting, or it's like has to be replaced, kind of a thing. So backlog. So it's kind of like she's dying in a sense. So there is like kind of a ticking clock for, for Wim to take the wires, munch it up together, help melt it down, and then cool it down to make a rod to put in her neck before she can die and all this stuff. I mean, she said later when she like gets back to normal and like wakes up, she says like I wasn't gonna die, but like it kind of made you feel like you saved my life, and that made Wim feel so much better, especially since like he's been like not sure of himself. He feels like he's been letting everybody down and all this stuff. So it was like a really nice. Honestly, like I think like I guess for me like the better thing about the show is like I think like the kids definitely have a really good dynamic with each other, and I do like how they tried mixing and matching with all the kids to let them do like have different things that they can relate to with each other, and like I think that's what makes it interesting in any kind of story when you have like a Goonie style, Stranger Things style story.
Yeah, I mean that's basically like Stranger Things stuff. I seriously never watch. I love kids. kids and adventures shit.
Hmm.
I mean, and then we got like KB, the person accident. We got a fat kid. I think, yeah, basically Dustin from Stranger Things, the fat kid, naive fat kid at first.
Yeah.
The fuck what's it called? Elephant kid.
Yeah, Neil.
Neil, yeah. I mean, he's just it's just he's just the moral support person, basically entire team. To
Yeah.
just yeah, and then just like start yeah, and then when things got tough, he realized he can't just talk his way out of it. Like,
Yeah. So Neil. So the thing about Neil and like all the kids in general, they feel like. So I like how different Neil and Fern are in particular, and I do like how they ended up pairing the characters together down the line. Because like Fern, played by Ryan Kira Armstrong, she's like the highest billing name of out of the four kids in terms of previous acting experiences and stuff like that. So her character, she definitely has like more of the I'm tough, I know my shit, I know how to do things, I can get my way around things. And obviously, like when you go out there and be interacting with pirates and stuff like that, interacting with like intergalactic conflicts and stuff like that, it's like, oh shit, I can't do any of that. Um, there's that, and then like with Neil is definitely like the kind of kid who appreciates his sheltered, privileged life of like not being able to know what war is like, not being able to know what it's like to be in the conflict of being responsible for somebody's life or anything like that. I'm just happy to be a kid who is able to live past all that and wish for peace. And like, I mean, he says things like fighting is bad, which is fair since he doesn't know that life, to know what is the benefit of it. Uh, but yeah, I mean, like I honestly like with episode four. Episode four was like a really big uh, episode with him and the girl from the other planet, which is like it's like similar to At Atten, but it's not. It's
I
like
think
a
that's episode 5.
five, 4 or 5, yeah, something like that. But yeah, basically in that planet, like they don't. Basically, that planet is like under a war. Like basically, the adults versus the kids on that planet. Um,
No,
and
4. There's 4. Man, the
yeah,
episode order is so weird.
yeah. So, uh, so
So basically, there's a girl. It's like,
there's a
and
girl
then
who lives on that planet of a war. So like she doesn't. So she's like the opposite of Neil. Obviously, it's like she's never known a life outside of war. Um, and they basically talk about it, like how you know he's trying to say that like the only fight I've ever been in is like my brother. He would try to get like this toy of mine, and then like I mean I ran, but like he still got me, and he's younger than me. But like I mean they found it funny. Um, and then and he's just like, and then there's a point where the girl's dad, she asks like, okay, you guys, because like on this planet, their custom is that kids are treated as like as equal to adults in their combat. So it's like, so he's expecting them to be like, because Fern refers to herself as captain because she refers to SM-33, the droid that they have from the pirate ship, uh, like basically like I have to be your captain so that you can follow my orders and you don't kill us, kind of a thing. So she just refers to herself as captain. So the way that other characters react to her saying, "Oh, so you're the captain, huh?" That kind of thing. So you see how that reaction changes among the different characters and how do they expect her to act, um,
yeah,
and that. So his orders like, okay, so now you four, since you guys are captains and you're leaders and you should be able to help guide us through this thing. Just move forward and check to see if the enemy is out there or not. tell us when to go and all that stuff. So obviously they're all terrified because they're not actually built for that. They're not built for war. They're not built for combat. So yeah, and so they go slowly ahead. Neil does not want to go at all. He's terrified. And then the daughter's like, okay, let me go with you. I think it would be better with a friend. So, and then this is like, they do try, but then there is like a bit of a twist, quote unquote, where like actually Jude Law, he actually paid off all the enemy. Just like, okay, you guys take the money and I'll take all your resources and we'll be on our way. And that worked very well. But the fear doesn't go away though. They still thought they were going to die, even if it didn't end with a conflict and all this stuff.
Yeah. That's the episode that center most when it comes to Neil. The most is basically just Fern. Yeah, Fern actually, it's like this Fern has a lot going for in episode 1. Basically, he's like the rebellious type that I don't want to be a good girl, studying, be pretty, something like that kind of stuff. He just wants to be the tough boy.
Yeah, like her mother is like a secretary for the planet, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of responsibilities and expectations out of her. But she does have like a leadership quality, which she does get from her mother as well.
Yeah.
By Carrie Condon.
Yeah, and then she just like to use people and wants people to just be on the same level as her, just like to do things that like she could. And she looks down on people like this, and just over a course of the show, she just like, oh, you can't tell me to just be great. You have to do shit, and then you just get a lot of glimpses. Like, oh yeah, she's growing up with in a childhood that's like, oh, she's have to be perfect, but instead has to be perfect, and she just struggles to keep up with her mom, and then over a course she just learned to respect his other friends like this. And then at the end of the show, she just like, oh, you have to trust me, mom. You have to trust other people. They gotta do the plan. It's like really simple stuff. To be fair, they're kids, so I don't expect them to have really deep character.
Yeah,
it's simple stuff. It just works.
Yeah, I think that's what I liked about it a lot too. It's like I don't think it tries to. I liked how they. I can appreciate that they let the kids be kids at times. Like, oh, it's like the pirate is saying like they're gonna send all the assassins to kill us, but they're too busy jumping on the bed because they've never been in a hotel room where the bed is like so huge. So it's like that kind of thing. It's like they play ball in the plane while it's like not the plane in the ship while it's going through hyperspace and all that stuff. It's like things like that. And then like obviously they have their own dynamics and they have like their own scenes. There's some heavy hitting scenes too with the kids, especially some emotional scenes that they go through. But the fact that like I feel like there was a good balance between when the kids are able to be serious and be fun. And I think that was like I think you can really see that on the screen that they probably had a lot of fun filming this as well, which is always good to know.
They are not just like, hey, I'm gonna be serious the entire time. They have fun playing in hotels, just talking to other kids.
And it's also like not like they talk like a 50-year-old person wrote them kind of a thing.
To be fair, that at the very least, the writer is not 50.
Yeah,
he's just how old is Sean Watts? 43.
Yeah, but what was it? I think it wasn't him who did Breakfast Club, but he worked with somebody who did Breakfast Club or something like that.
Yeah, I don't. Breakfast Club is 1980s. I don't think someone can work on that.
I'm saying like he's friends with somebody who was part of Breakfast Club or something like that.
Really, I don't know. It's like John Watts, breakfast, and John Hughes died already, so I'm not sure. No, that's just one of the movies that influences him.
Right. Not sure where I got that from. But yeah, I know he was inspired by that. But I do feel like there was monkeys jumping on the bed. Yeah. So I thought that stuff was like really really good. I would say like I'd say like any issue I would have had is probably action scenes here and there.
And yeah, and some
which is expected.
And plot points, you just expect them to answer this, and they're like, oh, yeah, technically they're just not good enough. That's how I qualify of the review. Love review. It's like you explain it, just okay. You just need to explain more details.
Could you give examples?
I was like, the one that the ship one. That's one of the examples.
Yeah.
And then at Adam. Okay, so what happened at the end is basically like, according to the dialogue, it's just like, oh, the Empire actually has this planet locked away with all their money, and apparently no one. And after it, because like they did not deactivate the robots, the Empire dropped, because you can clearly tell that the robot said, "Oh, if you're a Jedi, you're a liar as well."
So the supervisor is saying to Jude Law that because Jude Law is he calls himself the emissary, and he calls himself a Jedi. So let me just make sure I have the definition of emissary correct before I keep talking. But like essentially, so an emissary is a person sent on a special mission, usually for a diplomatic representative. So he says like he was there as a Republic emissary or something like that. Like he was like, he's like important. He needs to have. So he's originally saying that like I need to get the credits and bring it back to the Republic and all that stuff. And then, but he kept harping on the point that like I have a second ship that's like above the atmosphere that I can't bring down here. So I need you to come here. So the supervisor like is, obviously it's not saying it out loud, but like it's thinking that. So you came down to our planet at Atten because you went through a ship that happens to be at Atten made, because there's like a barrier that surrounds the planet, and essentially it's like if any ship that's not from at Atten, they will get electrocuted, fried, and destroyed. But if it's at Atten material, then it will go in and out of the barrier, no problem.
I'm gonna be honest, that is like a really insane design that the sequel should have used. The sequels.
Yeah, the only thing I can say, the to be fair part, is they say very much that, especially from Carrie Condon, is that like we don't want anybody to know about this planet or anybody to interact with our planet, or like you guys to ever experience the galaxy and the harshness and the bad things about the outside. It's basically made to be like a utopia kind of a style.
Yeah.
Thing. So I do understand where it's coming from. It's just like I guess nobody has ever found this in the Empire.
And then because like this takes place before the sequels, and the Republic actually found this. They have access to the technology, like at the very end of the planet.
This is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, whereas
that the First Order is 30 years later.
30 years later, but then they destroy the barrier, so there's no more barrier.
It was like you think that some fucking like the person like Princess Leia, who gave birth to Kylo Ren, would have known this technology.
They didn't even know Alderaan was destroyed, by the way.
Oh, yeah, but
because I think Fern mentions like, yeah, we learned about stuff like this planet and Alderaan. I guess you don't know that much about the galaxy, do you? They didn't know what she was talking about, but like we know as an audience that Alderaan is destroyed. That was one example. So they don't know everything about what's happening outside the galaxy, outside of their planet. That kind of education system, I guess. So I guess like I guess like with a mix of this plus the either him or the Moff Gideon clones, that is true. Because this does take place around the same time as Mando.
And then we got like
the only thing I could say is like it seems like the Republic is the only ones that are allowed to know about the planet, but they don't even know like where the planet is located as a security measure for the for the planet's safety and all this stuff. And that's how the barrier like keeps everybody out. The barrier is able to prevent any star system map from being able to find it and all that stuff. I feel like they've answered these kinds of questions.
I mean, the fact that they discover it at the end, so it means they have access to this technology. And the fact that someone has built this technology. Who built this?
I mean, I wouldn't expect that kind of thing to be answered.
Oh no, it won't. But yeah, it's like it's like it's invisible planets, and that apparently someone can mark their stuff on a stone wall of another planet for some reason. Yeah, that was kind of confusing when I was episode 4. They have like there's like someone actually marked a fucking Adam on a pillar.
The big tank where the supervisor's console is in. I was so scared they were going to make that the open up and Palpatine from Rise of Skywalker's in there.
Yeah, that's like. I mean, to be fair, they have like so many shows that deal with like Palpatine's return, like Bad Batch, Mando, Ahsoka, I think. Oh, don't worry, it technically hasn't yet, but Dave Filoni will try to find a way to justify Palpatine's return in Ahsoka.
So the thing about like all right, Ahsoka season 2 is coming out.
Oh yeah, they recasted. They recasted Ray Stevenson to
announcement right now is they recasted Ray Stevenson for the Hound from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that's
Rory McKeanson.
Which is fair. He's a good actor.
I think he's a good actor, but like I've never seen him be like eloquent and wise, like that kind of character before. He's always usually angry and gruff, which I don't know if that's because of the Hound and all that stuff for Sandor Clegane for Game of Thrones, but like I mean I feel like Ray Stevenson had a lot more like prim and proper kind of style to him. Like I wouldn't say like Christopher Lee, but like he would present himself like Christopher Lee in that sense as a type. So I'd have to
shit. Like, he's in Gladiator 2.
Yeah, he was in Knuckles.
I'm not gonna watch that show. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Hot Fuzz. Oh yeah, he's in Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I will never remember everyone who got cast in Edgar Wright films. It's like remembering who played who in Christopher Nolan films. He literally have famous actors just appear in one scene, and that's it.
Speaking of Edgar Wright, Nick Frost voices SM-33, the droid.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It's either. I mean, I like the character, but at the same time, he just has so much ass pulls. I was like, Harris, how do you override a command? Just like, oh, I claim this shit, and then the kid just like, I will overrun and claim this shit. I was like, what? That's all he needs. So
yeah, that was like my main thing. It's like, I was okay with like in episode 4 again,
and
like when he kept saying,
and episode 7, both episodes.
No, for episode 4 in particular, I didn't have an issue so much with like like because this is like where Fern was crying because like she realized like she saw like the coordinates to um at Atlan is completely scratched out and unmarked and all that stuff. They couldn't find it at all. And then everybody's like, okay, you got to go figure it out now. Find out like where the coordinates are. You got to find out how to figure this out. And it's a hard question to answer because like there's like nothing to do. So she goes off and like gets emotional and all this stuff. And then Wim goes over and it's like, everybody's asking me like what to do, and it's like I don't know what to do. It's like honestly, but then Wim is like trying to cheer her up. It's like, if I was in charge, like we would have never gotten this far and all that stuff. But then there's like she has a time to think about it, and it's like especially like when it comes to having a direct order, and the reason why he keeps repeating at Atlan, I've never heard of a planet called Atlan. That doesn't make any sense, like that kind of thing. So he kept repeating this like a lot. So it made her think that like, okay, so like it's possible that the droid was told by the previous captain to forget everything about Ad Atlan and that stuff. So it's like, so she makes the order like, I want you to override the thoughts about Ad Atlan and remember everything about it. Ignore the previous command. Now that I'm your new captain, that kind of thing. So it's like, and it was like coming back from like in episode 1 when she told her service droid, like, tell my mom that like I was studying upstairs, but you weren't studying upstairs. Override your memory banks. You remember that I was studying upstairs. I remember you were studying upstairs, like that kind of thing. So it's like a callback to that. I was okay with that, but like the last episode, as you said, episode 8, where
7.
7, where he's like, where she's like, where Jude Law is like, I claim ownership of the
Adam ships.
At Aden ship. Is like, all right, he's my captain, and then all of a sudden she's like, I call on claimsies. What? I call on claimsies. You now work for me, and now you have to get rid of everybody else. I don't think it works that way. And then
it works that way. Do you know how insane?
Close enough. That's what he says too. It's like, I mean, it's close enough, I guess. That was silly. That was
no. I mean, at that case, every single crew is like, I claim that shit. No, I claim that shit. No, I have the ship. Fuck you. I have the ship. Everyone should be doing.
I'm Spartacus. No, I'm Spartacus.
Yeah. Was like when I heard that shit, I was like, "Oh shit!" I mean, the other thing is that Jude Law just teleported to that ship in episode 7. It's like they literally show the ship. They literally show him staring at the ship, closing the door as it's about to leave, and now she decides to run, and he just teleported the ship. It's like, oh.
I call claims to the podcast.
No, fuck you! I call claims to this podcast.
Yeah, that was definitely for me. That was like the silliest thing, which is ironic. But yeah, that was definitely the silliest thing. It was getting control of SM-33 back from. It's just as simple as I unclaims these. A bit of an assball, but yeah. Outside of that, and then there's like there's some action stuff in general, like but it's more like the fact that Wim and his dad were able to escape a fighter that's like shooting at them behind the whole time, every time. But like like they're still on like pods and like scooting along, and these guys are like on not ships, but they're like relatively big size, and they're just shooting and all that stuff, and they're dodging everything. I mean, the dad has a little bit of competence in the sense of like, let's go under the tunnels. So like that way it makes the aim kind of hard for them to hit them and all this stuff. And they're going under the water bridge too. So it's like they have some level of control of like where they are, but like it's still, it's quite a lot. Especially with the amount of like shooting that's going on. KB surviving.
That was a fuck.
It's
So
okay,
just
I
ask
guess.
for. Yeah, no, it's like, I mean, all I have to do is just like, oh yeah, I saved myself in the last moment, lol. And then it's
Yeah.
like, no, they just fucking show it crash. Oh well.
Yeah. But like they did show like she's trying to reroute the thing, so like she does like figure out a way to like curve it down as it hits the ground, but like it still does explode, but it doesn't explode like fire. It explodes like smoke dust kind of a thing. So I mean, obviously it's like meant to get everybody to get upset, start crying.
I
That the
mean,
possibility of their friend is dead.
mm,
I don't think it's. I think they did try. Maybe it was a little bit too. I think it's like I think the thing is like the ship was like too close to the ground for that curve to happen. That like I don't know if it's like if there was like if they made it or at all and all that stuff. But I'd say like I feel like we should talk about Jude Law in particular since he's definitely the heavy
so
point on the show.
so he's basically his character in AI.
In
If you've
AI.
seen that, yeah, you've seen AI by Steven Spielberg.
Oh, how long ago was that?
Yeah, he took over the project after Stanley Kubrick died, so 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Jesus. Um. Yeah, I mean, as I said, he was Captain Hook in 2023. So the next year he does a pirate thing for Star Wars.
And so
He's
basically,
he's definitely not a Jedi. He does have the Force. Um, and he explains like in the last episode because people ask like, how are you able to use the Force or like how are you able to do things like this and you're not a Jedi and all that stuff. And he always dodges the question. He does save it for the end. That essentially a Jedi did find him when he was a youngling, where he was like not really a youngling though. He was just stealing. So he's pretty much lived hungry for all of his life, essentially, always going for scraps and trying to get enough to eat and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, it's that kind of. I mean, he got betrayed by the because apparently that the ship only has like 1 pound for some reason, one credit. So everyone in the ship just like just say fuck you, I'm gonna take over the ship and stuff like this. I mean, actually, to be fair, I have some problems with the beginning. Was like that the opening scene was like so weird because apparently you can just get this close and just launch like platforms and the ship did not even shoot him before. So like the good guy ship, like Republic ship, should have just shoot the pirate ship before it got close enough to do that. And the pirate just like, yeah, let's just run blind and just attack them instead of just cover or shoot, something like that. To be honest, it's slightly copying A New Hope, but yeah, that's it. Okay. I mean, yeah. If anyone does not know AI, that Jude Law plays a robot. He helps a kid. He's like also trying to escape from death after he just accidentally encountered him from in a prison cell that they almost got executed. That's AI.
yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of a convenience that the kids were in the same prison cell as Jude Law,
Jude,
a
Jude
Jedi.
Law.
But to be fair, it's like we didn't know that Jude Law was the character from the beginning of the episode 1, because he was wearing a mask and like he had like a filter over the voice, so like you couldn't really tell that was Jude Law until like pretty much until like the 7th episode when they showed him back again with the mask again. So I thought that was an interesting thing to like kind of hide from the audience a bit. But it does make sense in the way that like, oh, you can't really connect. Is this guy good or is this guy bad? Which obviously the episodes do go a lot into like, don't trust this guy. This guy has like one of their major ways of doing that is showing like people know him by like 4 different names throughout the show. So it's like you said your name was this. No, you said your name was that. No. His name was actually this. It's like so clearly he has like a lot of fake identities, and all this stuff. So,
and then he's also like really shady. He was like, oh, he's clearly has his own personal gains.
yeah,
That's basically what he has, and you just realize, oh, the reason why is this because he got abandoned. He got to fight because all the 66 happened. So his satellite got killed. So he has to learn to live in a hard way.
yeah, and like that's what the galaxy is. It's cold, dark, and John Dumbledore.
Yeah, it's like,
God, I'll never forgive Fantastic Beasts for wasting fucking Dumbledore. Jude Law.
to be fair, no one cares about those movies anymore.
I mean, they don't care about it anymore.
I mean, they're rebooting with the show. I'm not gonna watch it though. I mean, I'll probably go watch it if you force me to.
I'll probably watch it because I'm a Potterhead. I don't know what it'll be like. I'm just not really interested in seeing another attempt, to be honest.
No, I mean, you last time you told me, I was like, oh, just told me, hey, do you want to watch Percy Jackson? I was like, no. And then just like, oh, please do. I was like, sure. And then it's like, I think it's bad. And then it took you a while, just like, yeah, it's bad.
That's not why.
Yeah, I know, but that's funnier way to explain it.
Yeah. So, honestly, with Jude Law and his characterization, I mean, because like he gets to a point where he does try his best. I would say like to stay in line with like Fern because like she has like a scary droid on her side like because I'm the captain, the droid will do what I say, and like that droid could like rip you from limb and all that stuff. And so he tries to keep his distance, like yeah, I'll do what you say, I follow your orders, and like is like you work for us, okay, fine, deal. But then like there is when they do go to the they go to the mountain where they find the original captain's place of treasure, which has now been replaced as a spa, and all that. And they go in and they find, they go in there to find where the coordinates to Atlin is and all that stuff. Because SM said that's another location as to where you can find the planet there. So when they see it, then there's all the gold and there's all the treasures in there, and you can see the greed is going into Jude Law's head. Thinking, I want to challenge you in combat to become the next captain. So shit. And then like SM can't like listen to Fern's orders because Fern has to fight Jude Law to the death in order to still reclaim as captain, and she can't get help from the droid like she used to. Since Jude Law is like an adult, he's like you challenges her for the dark saber.
It's like basically it's like hand-to-hand combat. It's like you guys are not even fighting hand-to-hand.
No. Like, he says it's to the death.
Yeah, hand-to-hand combat to the death.
I don't think it was hand to hand. It was like he had the knife. He had the knife on her.
Nick Frost actually said hand-to-hand combat, so I just kind of laughed. I remember that, and then they never fight hand-to-hand.
But yeah, it's like essentially he's just Jude Law is just saying like, just say you yield and that's enough. Just say you yield and that's enough. Like, just like egging that on all like on and on, because like Fern is like thinking, no, I can't do that. There's no way I could do that. Like, but then she tries to take like a cup and like try to hit him, but like obviously he dodges that because it's not like there's no point. And Wim tries to be a hero in a sense because he saw a lightsaber at Atlan's, not at Atlan's, like the pirates thing.
Treasure.
So he tries to. I wonder where he got that, but like it's not crazy, I guess, to steal a lightsaber. So he tries to power it on, but like he opens it up upside down. A bit of a joke, but like so yeah, Wim had to go off on a whim and put himself under the table, embarrassed and all that stuff. And then he has the knife over. Just say yield. Just say yield. And like she says yield eventually, and then thank God, because at the end of the day, Jude Law doesn't want to kill the kids. Like he really does not want to. And as he says, like later, when there's an opportunity to kill, like there's plenty of opportunities like where he could have killed like Carrie Condon and then like Wim's dad and like all these things. But then down the line, like when KB is like going down the ship and like it's about to crash and all that stuff, and then he stops like putting the threat and all that stuff. She's not gonna make it. And he allows like the kids to go off to run to the window and all that stuff, even though he put a gun on them. So she's not gonna make it. She's not gonna make it. And he gets really upset when the ship crashed and all this stuff because like I didn't want any of this to happen. I didn't want anybody to die. I just wanted to take control, and you guys go right back to what you were doing. Just me in charge, me and my crew in charge, and you guys just go right back to work doing what you did and all that stuff. Which, it's like that. It doesn't really explain. Is it like a dictatorship or anything like that? Is it like what kind of like control of the system kind of thing? He's basically just has like the whole thing. If I'm in charge. My crew is here that works with me. You guys all do what your normal jobs was. We just replaced the service droids that used to work for you, essentially. That was like his logic, but he doesn't want anybody else to die. I mean, anything like that. So I thought that was really interesting. I don't know. I really liked his character.
I mean, yeah, I like his character. He's cool. I mean, to be fair, he probably won't get a redemption arc because season 2 is gonna be done. Not gonna happen. How low the viewership is. Holy shit.
If they trapped him in that credit vaults, he would have turned to Scrooge McDuck and swam through those credits. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was funny because like because the droid isn't able to react, but it was kind of funny. It's like he sees all the gold and then he's like kind of like dumping it all on top of him and laughing and all that. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, I have some problems with the last episode, but it's like apparently killing the droid being shutting down the power of the entire planet. I was like, okay, that's a bit stupid.
Oh, it's like supreme intelligence, but I think this one has a little bit more sense to it. In the sense that like Supreme Intelligence in Captain Marvel 2 did not make any sense in the sense of like how
you just blow it up and then the entire planet got destroyed.
You blow it up and but then the sun powers out. The sun that's not connected to the planet, that powers off too. Whereas like in the show, it's like at least like the security droid is like it is like there is no sunlight because like the whole thing is like encased into like a biosphere, like a kind of like like the entire shield for the planet so that nothing can come in and out. But like once they destroy the thing, then you see that the sunlight turns into darkness and all this stuff. So it kind of gives the idea, okay, so this is like an artificial sunlight or something like that. And that's how you have like a connection there. But like at least it shows that the planet is enveloped of its own biome and biosphere and all that stuff through this version of the Supreme Intelligence, but it's not connected to like an actual sun like they did in the Marvels.
Yeah, that was
That's just my only, to be fair, part.
But yeah, as you say, if your design hinges on if this thing got wrecked, it would end the entire planet. Then the
Yeah,
entire planet
I,
got shut down. I
I,
was like, okay, that's a bit easy.
then my thing would be the issue would be is like there's like not that much protection for something as integral like this. That would be my
You
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and the fact that if someone attacked it, it was like the droids were like fucking miles ahead, like I said, dozens of meters away. It was like, and all you have to do is just throw a few bombs, even if the person is not Jedi.
Yeah, and also like because like the droids are programmed for stun only, no kill,
Yeah,
which is fair, but like again, as you said, projectile weapons are a thing, and they're not like super droids. Like there are super droids in Star Wars. They're like regular security droids. So their movements are limited compared to everything else. Yeah, that would be like that was like really my thing. It's like I get it from like a standpoint as to like what this planet does and how does it operate and that stuff. Is it a viable option? Probably not. But I could see it making sense. But then yeah, it's like if you have a planet that has a heavy reliance that this is the one thing that needs to be here, otherwise the planet cannot function. Then yeah, you would need more protection than what you had.
yeah,
But also I guess my other question too is like since they do end the show and they destroy the shield and all that stuff, so that at least solves the issue with having ships go in and out of the planet like at Atlan and all this stuff. But then what about the sunlight? Is that just never coming back? Is it important for the planet? I would assume so, but like
I mean, they restore the power at the end of the episode, so I get so the Republic fixes it, I guess. But
oh yeah,
no,
you're
but
right.
no,
Because
but
his dad is like a level 7 security, like a level 7 like engineer level, so he's like really smart basically. So
yeah,
he knew how to repower the planet.
that's it. So it's like, oh yeah, there's that. Of course, like then that is not claimed by Republic. And Mothra just like, oh shit, we got $800 trillion added to our bank account.
uh she'll be fine. she'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And hey, we got enough fun to fight fucking what's it called? Grand Admiral Fraud in season 2 now. Hey, quick buy more ships and just blow this fucker to death.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess like that would be a question. Like, how much would this affect world building wise? It's like so. Ad Atlan is not the only place that has banking in the universe. So that is one thing. Like it's not the only planet in the galaxy that because you have you have the banking clan. I don't, I don't know if you see them in the movies. I know they're in
I
the
mean,
Clone Wars
I
TV show.
know Anakin killed them, to be fair, murdered, genocide them at the end of Revenge of the Sith. So I'm not sure.
Were they a part of it or the
I I've yeah, remember like the banking
then
clan, they're sitting at the edge of the table, and then Anakin just closed the doors. Imply he just walks in, just kill the guy.
I don't because like Nuke Gunray is not a part of that
No,
group.
not new gun raiders. So I don't think you remember that part. It's like so
No,
Anakin just kills a bunch of people in the room, and then there's another room there, and then the banking clan leader is just there, and he closes the door, so it implies he kills him. Oh great, don't worry, technical issues again. So does anyone has any more takes when it comes to this show? And by the way, Grand Admiral Front should not be the Republic. Fuck you. That's got a fucking stupid person who thinks that it's a necessary sacrifice to lost several hundred soldiers.
uh we never talked about Urkel.
Urkel?
Uh,
Steve Urkel? Oh, he's
Steve.
a fucking hell. He's barely even does anything in the show.
He's basically just a henchman for the bad guys.
It's like, oh my god, you got Steve Urkel and he does nothing.
Yeah,
You could just
I
replace the wolf guy with this guy.
I thought that was curious. Like, I thought he would have a bigger role because he is a pretty big name. I mean, not a big name anymore like he used to be, but yeah, that was a little surprising.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they got like Fred Tatasciore as the wolf guy. You know the really famous voice actor.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess, but still. But yeah, they just
Brutes.
like Jaleel
Yeah,
White never did anything as the pirate.
yeah.
I mean,
He's
he probably died
Fred
off.
Ted
He died
Fred
off screen.
Tatasciore. Yeah, he's best known for voicing the Hulk and uh, Solomon Grundy in a lot of projects.
Yeah,
Uh
he's
yeah,
he plays like the Shao Kahn in Mortal Kombat. So yeah.
yeah, very talented. Um, yeah. So
But
was there
yeah, I
any
mean,
kind of was there any particular? Oh, and they got Stephen Fry to do the supervisor voice.
oh shit, no shit, they got Alfred Molina as one of the pirate crew.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember hearing about that.
I was like, oh wait, okay, who is that? I was like, oh shit, I don't remember. At least Stephen Fry makes sense for a large robot. At least he actually did shit. I mean, he's basically as important as General Grievous, but still, basically he died. Entire thing is
Hi.
ruined.
It's like so. It's like so. I'm here to tell you. So it's like, you said that you're an emissary, you're a Jedi, but it turns out the Jedi have been gone for a long time now. So which one is the lie? That you're an emissary or you're a Jedi? He's a pirate. He's a pirate, as suspected. No, it was really funny. Uh, they were saying he'd return, and I thought he'd get a bigger role because they felt the need to announce that, but he did nothing.
I mean, the fact that they are not they don't have Alfred Molina as a role, and then just like he's only found out because of at the end of one of the episodes.
Yeah, it's like Alfred Molina's voiced a character in this episode. I don't even think you can tell who it is.
Neither do I. I mean, they can't even just like, hey, he's got voice the character from the. Okay, actually, I need to remember some character. I need to remember some important characters in this show. The octopus, the giant squid in episode 6, episode 5.
Oh wait, who'd voice that?
Oh shit! Yeah,
He didn't voice that though. I know he
he
didn't.
didn't. He did not. So I need to look at who voiced that character. Oh, found Kefalo.
It started with a K or something.
A C. It started with a C. So good lord, I think I have to go to IMDb. It's not in.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, Patrick Sates.
Who's Patrick Sate?
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure voice actor.
Oh, so he's just a voice actor.
I guess that would have been funny if it was Alfred Molina.
I mean, they should have Alfred Molina. To be honest, I'm surprised they don't have that. I was like, oh, you got big names. It's like, oh, how do you spend 250 million? Oh, hey, famous actor, should you want to say record a few lessons on your iPhone? Then you got pay a few thousand. Yeah, that's it.
Well, yeah, it's Was there any kind of like other character interaction that you liked or anything like that? We talked a bit. We talked a little bit about the when they were on that planet with the girl.
Yeah, I mean that girl is from Phantom 3. Remember her? The daughter of oh, fuck, what was his name again? Reese Infant. That girl. That girl is the girl that Neo is talking to.
Sticks. Hannah.
Hayla Finley. Oh yeah, she's in the sequel for Shark Boy and Lava Girl. No, I'm not gonna watch that movie. I'm not gonna watch either of those movies. Fuck you.
We Can Be Heroes.
Yeah, she's like a main character or something.
Yeah, she was good here. No,
she is good. I mean, all the kids are good. I mean, I find it funny. Actually, some adults acted worse than the kid.
yeah.
I mean,
Honestly, I think that was Colin Farrell played Ravager 1. They just didn't announce it. Ravager 1 apparently is our thumbnail character.
What? That was played by Colin Farrell?
Fascinating. I guess it makes sense. They got Kerry Condon, so they got another Irish guy.
Oh.
Her co-star from Banshees.
Yeah, I guess.
But they didn't get Brendan Gleeson, though.
Oh, well, that sucks. Is he in another Star Wars thing?
I don't know.
To be fair, I don't care. He's probably. I think he's in a. Is he in another Star Wars thing? I remember. Somehow I thought he's in another Star Wars thing. Oh no, I don't. I know, no, he's not. But no, I mean they got like a few actors like. Apparently they got wrong one. Apparently they got like Kelly McDonald as the person who just find out that, oh yeah, you're stupid. You're Jude Law. You're not the person from that thing.
No, it was a joke. Colin Farrell did not do Ravager 1.
Oh, fuck you.
Okay.
Just kidding. No.
Yeah, so you see, but yeah, I really, I don't want to say like too much as to. I guess like I didn't really have too many issues watching the show. I also binged it, to be fair, so like maybe I wasn't able to process anything or take the time to like really think back on things. So I'm not 100% sure on that side if that's something blinding me or anything like that. But I really did enjoy watching it. Like I watched it all today basically. So
I mean, I watch it weekly, so that's a difference.
Yeah, so I felt like I wanted to watch more. Like I wanted to hit the next, like I wanted to see what happened next and that kind of thing. So like, usually, sometimes for me, like that could be like even if I have a binge method, I do have a hard time wanting to binge sometimes, even if the method is there. So I didn't have an issue with that. So I'm not going to say that's indicative of quality or anything like that. But yeah, that was just something I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mainly because like I enjoyed seeing the kids like interacting with each other and having their scenes together, and again, it's just like being much older than all of them. It's like these kids are like doing a lot more shit than I can do on screen and that stuff. I mean,
yeah,
I have a fair share of theater acting, but like, obviously doing a TV show is a little different.
Sure. Oh right, they have the Owl Girl. Who played the Owl Girl? Alia Shakta. Okay, I don't remember that character. I'm not gonna tell. I don't think I know this actress that well. So yeah.
Arrested Development.
Okay, I definitely did not watch that show. Especially no one talks about it anymore.
Yeah, Well, that's because that was 2006.
I mean, people talk
And then
about
they
community. People talk about community, and that was released the same time here. That's
then
that
they
show.
brought it back again. Ended 2019.
Wait, what? They are that shit is still rolling in 2019.
So it did 2003 to 2006. Then it stopped. Then it came back 2013 to 2019.
What? Okay, that is stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That
so I guess like with the kids in general, it's like obviously like they're gonna have some dumb things to say, dumb observations because they're kids, so it
I
makes
mean,
sense.
they
Or it's
that
like there's something contrivance that's gonna happen because one kid decides to be really stupid and do something that, God, if you didn't do that, then none of this bad stuff would have been happening, or like this guy wouldn't have reacted that way, or something like that. It's like, but it's like, is it an implausible deniability? Not really. I mean, like for example, when they're at the bar eating food, and you gotta pay. It's okay, you gotta pay. He gives the money because it's money, but it's actually really special money since it's gold and it's old Republic credit and all that stuff. So it's like it's not very common. So the guy asks is like, "Where'd you get something like this?" It's like, "Oh, it's like." Actually, you need to give me like 4 or 5 more. I gave stuff for him. It's like there's good service, give a tip, something like that. It's like, hey, I think he's trying to swindle you. And then the guys like talk, but it's like, no, look at this coin. It's not. It's very rare. It's like, where'd you get a coin like this? Like,
well, I think that is Alfred Molina.
and then yeah, I think you're right. And he's like, yeah, no, is it the works for the bank in Atlant? It's like, oh, is that so? It's like, no, you're not supposed to say that. I was like, but Neil is like innocent. It's like he doesn't see the problem with like talking about, uh, Vim's Wim's dad and all that stuff. And then yeah, but like it's like these kinds of things because like they've never been out in the public before. They've never been out there and like this is like stuff you're supposed to talk about. This is like stuff you don't talk about. But it just triggers like the whole action kind of scenes, like where they get chased after. I mean, SM does like try and help them, but then he gets shot. But then the kids get arrested, all because of like, well, if he didn't wander off and like go get food and try to buy the food, then like none of that would have happened. But is it his fault that it happened? Not really. He doesn't know any better.
I mean, and then they just got thrown in the same prison as Jude Law. I was like, oh well. Yeah, that's to be honest. It's just there's not much to say. I mean, it's the really good level. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's like it's simple, it's effective. It's just that the problem is like the show plays so safe that sometimes even if it's good or bad, I just struggle to just explain a lot to you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay. What do we also have? Like there's some spa, some pirates. Like yeah, that's like they just built a spa on top of those caves for some reason, and no one is like, oh shit, that planet is actually a spa planet. And I was like, oh shit, do you have reservation? I was like, okay, you don't actually need reservation, just like, oh, I'm gonna book a seat now. I'm like, I think you can just do that in hotel rooms.
But like they say, it's like an adult spa.
So no, I mean I mean that they after they disguise themselves and Jude Law just walks through and it's like, what's your service? I was like, yeah, that what's your booking? Who do you book as? Jude Law was like that one. And all I can think of is,
well, first he drops like a Republic credit for no questions asked, kind of a thing. I was like, okay, like why don't you tell me what it is? Or it's like you also have to. What about your elderly guys? the elderly guys, which are the kids in robes and stuff like that, and they're all having fun and all that stuff. So there's that. So then he drops another credit. Okay, should be taken care of. Oh, my name is this one. Just point at Goggins or something like that. And then then a pirate lady sees him, and
Which is like what are the odds?
what are the odds is definitely one of them. But then like, so the only thing is like she says another name that they've never heard, Silco or Silvo or something like that. Which, to be fair, we heard Beast talk about that. I don't think that's his name, but the werewolf guy. He says like his name is Silco or something like that, Silvo. But like it's still like, out of all the planets you can go to, the spa planet is the one that you find him. But yeah, that's a bit of a coinky dink.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that episode is not written by John Watts, so actually, that episode and the episode after is the only two episodes not written by John Watts and the guy who wrote Homecoming. Yeah, so that's a quality draw. I mean, to be fair, there's some good stuff. Like we actually got to explore like KB, but yeah, it's like you can clearly see that there's some really major contrivance. And the first one I saw was like, oh, hotel bar. What do you do? Was like just book a room right now. You don't have to be like, oh, that's just lie about it.
Yeah, I guess it's just funnier. Like, oh, can't you answer this question for me? Gives money. Okay, I want it. Don't answer my question then. It's part of the joke, I guess. But then it gets worse, obviously, because of the contrivance of the other pirate existing, and then like, what did you say your name was again? Then he gives all of his money.
Oh,
I need a room right now.
Yeah, and all I can think of is I was like, oh yeah, that's the name we use. I was like, just say that, or one of the elders use that name, not me. That's all you need to do, you dipshit.
Yeah, but the other problem too is like, so when they do go down towards the caves, like there's another guy saying, it's like, oh, it's like Gibson, right? It's like, yeah, that's me. It's like, we just checked in Gibson like 3 hours ago. Run. It's like one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, you should just like book a room and stuff. Yeah, it is. And then there's like a giant tentacle monster. It's like,
yeah.
like,
I guess for me it's like the initial part of bringing back the pirates, because like, obviously like it was kind of weird like connecting the kids to the pirates that we saw at the beginning of episode 1. Like, how are we able to find it? But it, the to be fair part on that side is that SM knows that area. So like, which is like, I guess like that's another to be fair part for this planet too, the spa planet, is that SM knows it from his memory banks as like a pirate like thing. And like she is also a pirate, so it's like, I guess pirates could know about the spa planet, but also like it is a reputable spa planet though. It's not for pirates, like it's for everybody. So it's like that's where the contrivance would probably be for me. As to like, what is she doing here? But like in episode 2, for example, it's like, oh, the reason why the kids were able to meet the pirates from episode 1 is because SM is a pirate. They didn't know he was a pirate at the time. He's like, I need to go to a spaceport to repair my ship. Okay, let's go to the spaceport. It's like, you didn't tell me it was a pirate space. Why is there a bunch of pirates in the spaceport? It's a pirate spaceport. That's why.
Like,
I'm a pirate. So it makes sense.
There's a lot of things that I just surprised you out. You got follow through. Like when Jude Law just have that speech, I was like, oh, okay. Like, are you hungry? Blah blah blah. And I completely expect them to just like, oh, don't worry, they gotta flip his side. At the end, it turns out they actually did not flip his side immediately.
On the adult spa planet.
Fuck you, Timothy. Don't think about it that way. Okay. So basically, I just surprised it and stuff. Just like, yeah, you're off the hook. We gotta fight for you now, Jude Law. They just like, okay, and then all it does is just convince the pilot, just like, yeah, I'm not gonna okay, fine, I'm gonna let you live for a bit, but if that's not true, I'm gonna kill you. I was like, okay, that's actually smart.
Yeah.
Uh, there's some good things, and that isn't there.
Yeah, but I wanted to say that initially because like I thought like their introduction into episode 2 does make sense in the sense that like I mean yeah, you kind of do have to say okay, is there only one pirate spaceport? I mean that's not impossible to say because like I don't think pirates would be like swimming everywhere in the galaxy like that, especially if they have a hangout ground and all that stuff. So it's like I could like look past that a little bit. But then like trying to bring them back into episode 5 or something like that, where they have the spa planets, like then it's like okay, that was kind of a lame way to bring them back.
Yeah,
Then
they just like
outside, then like once they're back and like they integrate themselves for the rest of the plot, it's like then they're fine. But it was just how they got them to we want to bring these villains back, but we don't know how to do that. It's like let's just have like a girl recognize this pirate, like recognize Jude Law as like, and she calls them. That's how they get here.
yeah,
That was
that was
just kind of the lame part.
that was like oh well. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Because outside of that, I mean, like, there's a lot of good characterizations with like Jude and the kids,
the
and
kids.
like
I mean,
the kids and the droid, and like how they all interact with each other.
yeah, it's like
Uh,
AI. Jude Law just like, oh, yeah, I got forced to care about these kids. I mean, of course he did. Of course, that at the end of the show, he is not completely a good guy. He just cares about them a bit more. So he does not want to kill them. That's like. So I'm glad they did not just turn him into a complete good guy out of nowhere. Like at the end, even at the end of the show, I was kind of expect them to just turn him into a good guy, but he's not. He's still a bad guy.
yeah, it's like for him, like at the end, like when they destroy the barrier and like that allows the X-wings to, which is honestly this show is kind of curious for me. I did want to talk about it a little bit. Is that you can like call X-wing resistance, and they'll come and they're basically there to fight pirates and all that stuff, and like right on the call, like if you just have somebody, because like obviously the Atlan kids like they don't know the Republic like that, so she goes out into space to call KB goes out into space and calls the owl lady and tells her like okay, we need the X-wings fighters to come here, the pirates are invading our planet. Got it, done. And then they
Yeah,
come. And so it's like it's just that simple. It's just like it's just funny because like think of all the times in Mando, Ahsoka, where you could have had some X-wing support, and you didn't do that.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's exactly what you should do. Every time it's like some shit happens, call the X-wing, done.
Yeah, it's like I guess to be fair, kids are smarter than adults.
I mean, as long as it's not written by Dave Filoni or
Yeah,
Leslie Helen or who's also writing shows now. Okay, those two shitheads.
but yeah. So I thought that was interesting. How simple it is. Like a lot of the problems can go away if you just call the X-wings for help.
Yeah, don't worry. I mean, to be fair, I don't like I mean, there's a lot of part that's like simple as I was like, okay, that's a bit. Remember that they escape the trash by ripping the ship apart because there's a button just like rip the ship apart. So it's like,
Like
how?
the auto hull.
Yeah, I was like, that how does that work?
Yeah, so the hull is like essentially like the outer layer of of the ship. I guess is like a shielding, but like if you can remove it, and like that's how like her pressing the button removes the outer shell, so that they're going on the ship without the outer shell on it. Which honestly, the ship looks way better without the shell, but I guess that's not the point. Uh, but yeah, I guess
And
like yeah.
Yeah, that was of course, like to be episode 6 is like I like a lot of the ideas. At the same time, I just think there's a lot of plot armor. It's like the 4 kids just jump onto the ship and then the ship just crash on the ground. It's like all 4 of them are fine.
The Bryce Dallas Howard episode.
Yeah, episode 6, the one with the crab people.
Yeah, they had the miniature as well. I know people were talking about the practical effects.
To be honest, I'm gonna be honest here that it has to be a lot of practical and special effects in this show. It's Disney. I mean, do you remember they marketed the Force Awakens as, oh, we completely use practical effects? I was like, dude, you clearly use a ton of CGI.
No X-wing support to prevent the next galactic war, but when it's pirates, let's get the real shit on.
Oh, don't worry. They will definitely. I can tell you this. They will absolutely forgot the X-wings to stop Grand Admiral Thrawn in Ahsoka.
Yeah. The only thing I could say about like when it takes place in the next galaxy, it's like, okay, then I guess you can't bring the X-wings like that over there unless you can find some space whales. But I'm sure there's like other examples of where you can bring back Thrawn. So it's like, but then like I'm pretty sure Ezra and Thrawn, they both came back, right, to the main universe.
Yeah, the only
So
two.
now the X-wing should be there.
Yeah,
But
basically.
will they be there? Probably not.
Absolutely not, because don't worry, they gotta be like Thrawn is actually really smart. How smart he is? Oh, he's gonna destroy his entire ship, and it's like that's actually my plan. I was like, dude, I think I would beat this guy. I think I would beat this guy in a spelling contest or math with. Oh, math with. Fuck you.
Yeah. Honestly, I do feel like the when it comes to Ahsoka and the X-wings and all this stuff, I feel like they're just gonna. Oh, it's like where are we gonna find the army to help us out? I mean, we can't rely on the army. We gotta do it on our own. That kind of stuff.
No, I mean, yeah. I mean, remember season 1? They were like, Grand Admiral Thrawn returns, and the entire Republic does not believe them. What? And then, do you know what the explanation is? Oh, this looks like a child fantasy. You know, there's space whales, other galaxies, Grand Admiral Thrawn. I was like, you live in Star Wars, dipshit.
Yeah, because like honestly, that's kind of funny because like in the last episode too, like Wim has like a thing that's like, yeah, I figured out how to call the X-wings. They're gonna come here. Oh, there's no power. Yeah, I went to our ancient mountain where it calls like a Cthulhu monster kind of a thing, and like yeah, we're able to beam up a message outside the barrier. That's not true. And then like Fern comes in, it's like yeah, it's totally true. Basically kind of repeats what he said. Obviously, it's like it uses his imagination as a way of distraction, so that while he's saying the story and like Jude Law finding it weird, Wim's dad can go and like turn back the power on the back console and all that stuff. I mean, he didn't believe that shit, so it's fine. But I just thought that was a nice way of bringing that back because like he was saying like fantasy stories cannot save your life, or you cannot like rely on like your imagination or that kind of stuff. Like that's not helpful for anybody. You got to stay in the present with that kind of stuff. But like it was just a way for Wim to bring back something that they had a conversation about and all that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the show has a lot of callbacks too, throughout the season as well.
Yeah, it is a
I
lot.
mean,
I mean,
it does help. It does help that most of the season was written by John Watts.
Yeah, I mean, it's not written by Dave Filoni, or else there gotta be references. Hey, Anakin Skywalker will be in this episode, lol.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly, like the references are not even that much in the show. It's like the biggest ones are like Alderaan, as we talked about, where the kids don't know that Alderaan was destroyed, but the other people outside the universe does know. And then the supervisor saying that Jedi's have been extinct for a long time, so there's no way you can be an emissary and a Jedi. So which one are you lying about?
Yeah.
So it's like those are like the references, and they're really small. So I appreciated that as well.
Pretty much. I mean, at the very least, they didn't shove it in your face. But well, Dave Filoni is now in charge of Star Wars creative writing, so I'm gonna be honest, he's probably gonna cancel the show. Fuck you, Dave Filoni. You got, please go fuck yourself. Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, he's making a Mando and Grogu show.
Movie.
Okay, fuck you. I'm not gonna watch that.
Because they wanted to do season 4, but they just felt like it was not going to do well as a show anymore because season 3's ratings were bad. So they were like, let's make it a movie. So it's different. That's like, I guess.
No. Okay. I mean, it'll earn more money, but it won't get anyone back in interest, especially if it's written by Dave Filoni again and Jon Favreau. What happened to these? What happened to Jon Favreau? He used to make good things.
I feel like it's because like Star Wars is like where you can do the bare minimum and then people clap, and like it's like, oh, so people like that, don't they? So why don't we just keep doing it that way?
It's Star Wars. I mean, you can play it safe, or you can make it like Andor, which is like extremely good. But at the same time, it's a lot of risk. But honestly, I just take. I'm gonna be honest. I take Skeleton Crew over Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, The Acolyte.
It's second place.
Yeah, second place.
But even then, it's like I think it plays it safe, but I also think it does take risk in the sense of like it doesn't rely on Jedi's. It doesn't rely on like big names, or it doesn't rely on like it doesn't really rely on like the Empire or the Republic. I mean, it has the Republic stuff in it, yes,
and
but it doesn't rely on like references like that. So I do think it is a risk of that kind of level, because like where it's like this one actually feels like a show set in the Star Wars universe, but it's not like I don't have to watch all the Star Wars movies. I don't have to watch all the shows and all that stuff to understand what's going on. Like I feel like I can watch the show, somebody who has maybe like basic knowledge of Star Wars, and like I can watch it start to finish and not feel like I missed anything, or like I needed to know what are they talking about in order for me to understand the show. I think like I feel like more shows would need to do this in that sense. Like if you want to do like an expansive like Star Wars universe where you can watch a show and like you don't feel like you're missing anything because it's not heavily tied to anything. Now I feel like Star Wars has an advantage over like DC, which is going to have a new direction, since Gunn said like that's going to be more Star Wars oriented kind of a style, like where you can like try to watch a movie and it's set in a different time period and you feel like you're not missing anything.
I mean, this guy clearly has never watched the OT or the prequels. I mean, if I watch Return of the Jedi, I'll be like,
yeah. So so to be fair, he's specifically referring to the TV shows.
That's his mistake.
Which isn't the best example.
Yeah,
I get what he's trying to say, but like it's not a great example. But I get what he's trying to say.
But yeah, I was like, oh shit, let's use the show as an example. I was like, okay, how many shows are actually not bad? I was like, Andor, Skeleton Crew was like, okay, no, you can't say Skeleton Crew because that show.
I mean, at this point, Mando season 1 is like, okay.
Yeah, compared to everything else.
Yeah.
Fucking Star Wars.
All right, they're bringing back Rod of the Hutch from the Clone Wars.
No, fuck you. I haven't even finished the Clone Wars movie, and then halfway I was like, fuck that. I'm not gonna continue the show because that movie is tedious, and I'm not impressed with the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like I know like the show has a fair bit of like criticism and all this stuff. I completely understand that. I do feel like season 2 does improve in terms of like watchability and that kind of stuff. Season 1 was pretty slow. That's
Yeah.
usually what people would say as well.
I mean, there's also like some things I was like, okay, I heard people say those are good. I was like, and then I heard the calls. I was like, you sure that is good? Because when I heard Force Gods, I was like, nope, fuck you, I'm not gonna watch it. And apparently, I need to watch Mortis arc to understand the ending of Ahsoka, of what the fuck is Balance Go standing on.
All right. The episode is interesting, but it's an interesting concept. But like, it's a lot for Star Wars as well. The whole concept of good and God, good God, bad God, and like how Anakin is the balance of both. It's a lot overall.
And apparently, they have a reference of like the Boy of Towson or some shit. I was like, what? Who the fuck is Towson? Who the fuck are the Force Witches? Like, and now I was like, oh, actually, those are from the Clone Wars. So I was like, I'm not supposed to watch the Clone War to understand Force Witches.
Yeah.
Fuck you. And apparently, the blade is I heard is actually from the arc of like Jar Jar and Mace Windu go on adventures to stop Darth Maul's mom. Well, like, when I heard that shit, I don't even want to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess like since we're wrapping it up, kind of is like, so you would say you think Skeleton Crew did play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, safe now is just high, like top, like one of the top, like great tier for Star Wars
Yeah.
currently.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not top tier because Andor exists, but yeah, it's like close to top.
Yeah, I'd probably put in like a B plus A minus range if I were to say that.
I mean, yeah, I think it's like it's like okay for me. I enjoyed it. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, just like okay, it's like there's a lot of good elements. I just don't think they're like amazing. But at the same time, they're good. And the bad elements, like they're like bad, but at the same time, they're not like terrible. So they're just like it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, So my only argument against playing it safe is that like I do feel like with Star Wars, like how much they rely on references and like remember the name or remember the Glup Shido and all that stuff is like, and like what Star Wars was like doing for a while, that like Skeleton Crew not doing any of that, I feel like it is taking a risk of that sort. Andor is a little different in that regard since Andor is relying on the movie Rogue One, which is also coming off of post Revenge of the Sith, pre A New Hope. So it's like there's like a timeline and that kind of stuff. There's a political stuff and like the Empire inclusion and stuff like that. So it's like, so it has something that you can get people connected to in terms of like understanding a timeline and all that stuff. Obviously, it is still a big risk because, like, I mean, how many people really cared about Andor in Rogue One? So to make a show about him is kind of weird. Back when it was announced.
Yeah, I mean now all people talk about Star Wars like Andor.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope season 2 is good because after Arcane season 2, I was kind of skeptical now.
I guess.
Yeah.
But I would say like Arcane season 2, like they changed management. Not like entirely, but like there is a lot of people that were from season 1 that left. If I understand
that
correctly.
is so weird.
Which I don't know why.
I heard the interview.
Yeah, I don't know why that would happen.
No, I mean I think it's just creative control, I guess.
Yeah, so I mean, as long as Andor doesn't have that kind of internal issues, I think it should be okay. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, that show comes out this year, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like my main difference between like Skeleton Crew and Andor for that perspective is like, yeah, I mean, like they both have a little bit of a different thing going for them. I mean, they both also have things that going against them. So, the fact that they can like both manage to prosper in Star Wars for a little bit is a lot.
And at least Andor got to wrap it up. Skeleton Crew would not be. I mean, they do have an ending, but they won't get season 2.
Yeah, and honestly, I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm
I
fine.
think the only issue is like how they like tried to bring back Jude Law or something like that. If they were to do season 2 or that kind of thing, that would feel kind of like weird. Or it's like if he does get arrested, it's like, oh, we need to talk to him again and that kind of stuff. I mean, there's ways to do that, but like I don't know how much it does feel like a one and done kind of a thing, and I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. It's like I'm fine. I won't miss anything. Actually, I don't think there's any more Star Wars show after this, after Andor.
Ahsoka season 2.
Oh, shit.
And that's the one that we can't ignore.
Okay, fine. I'll watch it. No, I will not be able to finish the Clone Wars before that. I've seen Rebels, so I have knowledge.
Yeah. Now, would you want to see more Star Wars content that isn't like really tied to Jedi's or like isn't really tied to things like what Star Wars is typically aiming for all the time? Like Skeleton Crew is definitely not your atypical Star Wars content, right? So it's like, would you want to see more of something like that? Obviously, it doesn't have to be like a Goonies style film or a show.
I mean, I'm not sure because at the same time, I'll be like, at this point, it's like not really. But at the same time, it's like, if it's well written, then I'll be fine with it. But
like I feel like because like the biggest selling point for the show when like John Watts pitched it was like, yeah, this is Goonies and Stand By Me, but in Star Wars.
Yeah,
And
he
that
said
was,
it's like,
and like a lot of these shows have that kind of thing. It's like, I mean, even the Acolyte had something like that. It's like I forgot what the comparison was for it.
Frozen plus Kill Bill.
Frozen plus Kill Bill, but Star Wars. It's like, yeah, I was like, I guess I could just do that for every. Oh yeah, it's like.
I mean, at the very least, Strong Wars actually has an idea because he was like, oh, because as a kid, all I can want to do is like explore the Star Wars universe. So that's how I pitch the show. But what is Leslie had this idea? Oh, actually, my sister's gone, dead. Maybe I'm missing, so I'm gonna make a show about her, like how I want to reunite it with her. I was like, and by the way, I hate my dad, so yeah, that's the mindset between the two creators. I was not making that up. Those are actually interviews.
So what's gonna happen when they hang out with Mando, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, written by Filoni and one? Yeah, the Skeleton Crew. They're not gonna do that.
No, fuck that.
They're too young.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If Dave Filoni have to handle it, I 100 expect him to just like, I'm gonna kill all the kids off screen because that's what I do with the Mandalore.
Or he's gonna heavily rely on the kid being a Jedi.
Oh yeah.
All that stuff. I mean, like KB said, like, thanks Jedi, but like she said that to cheer him up. So it's like it's not like that doesn't make it real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just like, I mean, this is just like, he's like nice lightsaber to just like, oh, I'm gonna do it selflessly to defend my friends, not just for fun. Like that actually has meaning. But no, Dave Filoni was like, actually force resides on every living thing. I was like, oh, but you just suck at it. But according to Ahsoka, you can just do it, and you can become a Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, I met Sabine twice, so I don't have anything bad to say about her.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
But yeah, but yeah, I do feel like that style of like pitching. Like, I mean, obviously John Watts has worked for Disney before, so he has some connection and all that stuff. So being able to have a conversation with Disney and like, yeah, I want to do this for Star Wars. They have a chance to like listen, hear that out, and like, is that good or bad or anything like that. I am kind of worried in the sense of like, okay, like with Skeleton Crew not doing as well compared to like show ratings in general, I do think a lot of that just comes down to like the word of mouth being low, or like maybe it's not very interesting because there's no Jedi's. That could be one thing, but like especially after how bad the Acolyte was received and talked about, that like I don't want to deal with Star Wars ever again or that kind of thing. I mean, there was I definitely think there is some kind of like discourse there.
I mean, if it's released like during the Mandalorian, like season 1 of Mandalorian, I think it'll be a big sell. But yeah, now it's just like you get out the Acolyte, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka. Okay, everyone's and Ahsoka, and no one gives a shit anymore.
Yeah, it's either that or like people want to see the heavy hitters that like you're not as open to seeing something new or different. I'm not saying like that's true for everybody, but I do think like just think about like what kind of shows were like dropping out like at the time. Like you had like Obi-Wan, Boba Fett, Ahsoka. It's like goddamn, like characters that we've seen before. A lot of things I can clap for. Because I remember them so well. But clearly the writers don't remember them so well, do they?
Don't worry, Dave Filoni. Asking Dave Filoni to remember his own continuity is asking him to die. It's like
I will die before I remember my own continuity. Use the guy from Monsters Inc. That voice.
Yay! Hey, I can't wait for season 2. What's gonna have season 2 of Ahsoka? Probably he's gonna be like actually got Balan's go access to Mortis, and he's got using the Mortis power, he's gonna have it connect with Grand Admiral Thrawn, and Grand Admiral Thrawn is now Force God, and Ahsoka has to become Force God to kill him. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's absolutely I can absolutely believe people will do something like this.
I'd like to do Dragon Ball Z, but Star Wars.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, I want my action figures. Fuck you. I mean, the fact that all he has.
Yeah, Dr. Waternoose.
Yeah.
I will die before I let my continuity get in the way.
Yay. Star Wars Ahsoka. I mean, the show isn't even about Ahsoka. It's about Sabine. If you really think about it.
Sabine, my Shayla.
Yeah. Don't worry. People are just like, oh, it's in the books that she become a Jedi. I was like, do you know how much Dave Filoni hate books? Apparently, he recounts every single book in Star Wars.
Yeah, I know Ahsoka had like a book prior to the show dropping, and that doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I mean, I heard from the news that Siege of Mandalore is actually quote unquote adapting for a book, but Dave Filoni just like, yeah, fuck it, I'm gonna crab over it. It's like it's actually that actually happened.
Do you think they'll ever do like Star Wars, but Terminator but Star Wars?
Actually, I don't want to say yes.
Because like I don't think they've really delved into like time travel like that. I mean, like they have introduced this
world between worlds
that you can like go through time essentially. But so I guess they have a mechanic that exists.
Oh, I mean it does exist that time travel people just pull people out of time,
and you can like take somebody out to save their lives, like Ahsoka.
It was like the fact that I watched Rebels and just like and I was like, fuck. I need Rebels knowledge to understand that. I found it pretty confusing, but oh well.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know. The fans this is made by Rebels fans. Like I've seen Rebels, and I hated it.
Netflix Daredevil and Star Wars.
All right, they got
That's-
Disney
That's
Plus.
that's not impossible. You'd have to think of something really grounded or something like that.
Oh shit! Oh yeah. Oh right. What's
Should've
it called?
known, but I guess
Donnie
not.
Yen's character.
Donnie Yen's character. That would be interesting.
Yeah, just have a show about his, like not Donnie Yen, just like a similar character.
Him, but younger, or like just any character like him.
Just any character. It's an interesting concept, but they only use it like once.
Like blind, but using the Force, that kind of thing.
Yeah, he can use the force. Like, okay, he can't use the force, but he can connect to the force. But because he's not a Jedi, he can only connect to the force to just let him sense things. So that's the extent of his force powers. So technically, he can do that and just have him just have this character strapped in a force like a forest planet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know like how much will Star Wars like want to like branch out and try like different kinds of ideas, because like I don't think Skeleton Crew was like a failure or anything like that. It will just seem that way because of not that much numbers going on. But I mean, but I also don't know what their plan is post Mando and Grogu and Ahsoka season 2 and Andor season 2. Like, I don't know what their plan is moving forward. So we'll kind of have to wait and see what that is. I mean, I'm sure there'll be another Star Wars day.
Don't worry, their plan is probably just like, oh, how do I bring Palpatine back again?
I know they canceled Taika Waititi's movie.
Oh, good. Oh shit! They have a James Mangold movie about like the first Jedi ever exists.
Yeah, but he says like they just have not contacted him in years. Essentially, like he's kind of given up on that.
Oh yeah, he now made a complete unknown, so which got Oscar nominated. Do you know the thing is, it's not even on streaming, so I can't even judge is it worthwhile? Is it that good or not?
Let's just say that Operation could have met Ellie Fanning and Monica Barbero, but he didn't. So.
Traitor. I mean, Monica Barbera actually got Best Actress nomination.
That was interesting.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Oscars next week.
Yeah, next week we're going to talk about Oscars, what the nominations were.
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's not spoil.
I mean, to be fair, we already have a few texts that everyone knows, like Wicked, Anora, The Substance, Dune 2, so people know about our text of those.
Yeah.
Have you seen Conclave?
I've seen it, been high rated, but I didn't watch it yet.
Yeah, I've seen that, but that's the only thing I also seen. I haven't seen The Brutalist, which is like 4 hours.
Yeah, and that's been getting some complaints too.
AI.
Because of the AI.
Yeah. Oh well. And that's that. Yeah, that's The Brutalist, and a complete unknown. Which I'm gonna be honest, there's no way I can watch it right now.
Yeah, there's also the Rey movie, Dawn of the Jedi.
Don't worry, the Rey movie is not gonna happen.
Filoni has a finale film for his Mandoverse.
Don't worry, he's never gonna end it.
Yeah, he's not gonna end it. So he put Skeleton Crew in the Mandoverse?
Yeah. I can't wait to see Dave Filoni's being stupid again. Hey, at least the Acolyte only got season 1. And then, so I don't have to see that. I'm just like, oh, actually, season 2 have Palpatine. Sure, why not?
Young Sheev.
Yeah, he's just a clone, and then just like, actually, we've been following a clone the entire time.
Darth Plagueis was just peeking over the corner.
Yeah. Hey, clap. They promised this show to not have cameos, remember?
Swamp Thing. James has said Dawn of the Jedi. Like he has not. Like that's been there for like so long, and to the point where he forgot about it. He was just reminded about it like the other day. Oh yeah,
Jesus.
I did have Star Wars in my queue. I don't know. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I feel like Swamp Thing would happen first.
Oh, absolutely.
My only thing about Swamp Thing not happening first is like I think probably Gunn is going to kind of relax a little bit because you got the Clayface movie coming out, which I'm still confused why that's the thing. Then you got Sergeant Rock rumored with Luca.
Basically, the fucking stupid person who's gonna have the American Psycho remake. Don't worry.
Yeah, and James Bond.
I mean, I have to finish Challenger, but because Oscar did not nominate that film, so I decided, yeah, I don't think I need to finish Challenger.
Also, I don't think Queer was nominated either, right?
Oh, thank fuck. When I saw, because I literally joke about it with a friend, I was like, okay, what is? I was like, oh, look at this film. This film is called Queer. What do you think this movie is gonna be about?
No, it's kind of funny. It's like there's a lot of that kind of stuff, and it's like he hires actors that are not that. I don't know why. I'm starting to understand this whole authenticity in terms of casting, kind of a thing. It's
You know,
kind of being more apparent nowadays for you.
because
Yeah. Well, like, I still think Swamp Thing will happen first before Dawn of the Jedi. I mean, Dawn of the Jedi is interesting, but then it's also like Avatar 1 and Legend of Korra. It's like when you try to explain who is the first Avatar, who is the first Jedi, that could get kind of wonky as well. So it's like, do you want to have the risk of trying to explain that?
no, I mean, don't worry, they destroyed themselves with Korra already. So, but does anyone actually want an Avatar movie? I'm gonna be honest here.
Oh, right. Avatar is going to continue.
I mean,
Like,
do you want me to watch it?
um,
Because I tell you that I've never seen the show. I've never seen Korra.
yeah. I mean, like, I would like to see the movies because, like, that's supposed to be set after. That's like where the kids are now adults, and I would like to see that. I'm not really interested in like the show set after Korra. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to say.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. The people who made Avatar just like or just fuck themselves over with Korra already. So
yeah,
I don't expect the movie to be good.
they did leave. They did leave Netflix Avatar. There is that.
Yeah.
Another video we talked about on our channel.
All right. I know I'm not gonna. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna watch season 2 of Avatar: The Last Air. Season 2 of Netflix Avatar. I mean, people got be like, oh, actually, this is like the show. Was like, fuck you. I'm not gonna watch. I mean, even if that's true, it's like it's still bad.
I
I was
also
like,
got to meet Suki, so I appreciate that as well. So she did nothing wrong.
haha. Hey, at least they did not find a blind girl. I was like, where I was joke about they gotta find a blind girl to play Toph, and it turns out it did not. They did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't really have much to say. Skeleton is, but yeah, Skeleton Crew, and you just had to have a discussion. Hey, I mean, Skeleton Crew is better than Netflix Avatar or Percy Jackson.
It's better than a lot of the shows that we've talked about, yes.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
I will say that, like, I do hope, the low numbers isn't, like, indicative of, like, anything. Because, like, I do think the kids absolutely deserve boosting their careers. I think this is a very good showcase for all of them, really. Even, like, those that didn't really have that much of a role, like the girl in episode 4 with Neil. I just think they all did really great. I think they should definitely get that look, let Hollywood cast them more, and like put them in good projects and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
the best. But yeah. I really enjoyed Skeleton Crew. I'm fine with it not like continuing it on. I don't think it needs it really.
No.
If they do
But
continue it, I don't think like there's anything wrong with that.
I mean,
Obviously,
as
the
long
story
as,
would have to be different or like rely on something different.
of course, as long as Dave
Mhm.
Filoni, as long as Dave Filoni does not touch the show.
Yeah, you got to keep John Watts.
Yeah.
John Watts, and just keep
John
Dave Filoni 50 miles away.
And John Watts and Christopher Ford. That those two, just keep them. Just tell Dave Filoni to go fuck himself. And yeah, we go watch Ahsoka season 2. I'm sure it's not gonna be actually worse than season 1. Now they will have fucking the Force gods here. Jesus.
But yeah, thanks for watching. Unity, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye. It's Skeleton Crew. It's okay, but yeah, see ya.
Yeah, subscribe to Unity Reviews and Analysis. Talks movies and TV shows here and there. And subscribe to Red Devilosa Reviews. I am trying to get a video up by tomorrow. So hopefully that video drops. So give that a watch. And I've been really trying to get this Sam Wilson video out before the movie drops on Valentine's Day. And it's really difficult to find the motivation to continue making it. But I do have like a lot of fans who have been wanting me to finish the series and all that stuff. So it's definitely all for all of them, all that. So I'm trying my best, but yeah, hopefully that video gets out too. And subscribe to another Reviews Corp podcast where we archive these videos. All the links are in the description down below. And we will see you next time where we talk about the Oscar nominations. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.